Hi, Shane Stacks here, the host of Shane Plays Geek Talk Radio and podcast, a journey into things we love. I've got something today I want to talk about that I don't love, and that's the fact that Richard Hatch, who was the original Captain Apollo, my Apollo, from the original Battlestar Galactica, passed away yesterday, February 7th, 2017, of evidently stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So I was very sorry to hear that. I know many other people were as well. Mr. Hatch was also Tom Zarek on the reimagined Battlestar Galactica show, and he was also involved in many other projects, as you'll hear on this interview that I'm about to play. I had the pleasure of meeting and talking with Mr. Hatch for just a few minutes at the inaugural SpaCon in Hot Springs, Arkansas on September 24th, 2016, roughly 4 months ago. And even at that time, if I remember right, he mentioned or somebody else mentioned that he wasn't feeling well or had to take some time to rest or something like that. So perhaps even, this was manifesting then. And maybe he knew it, maybe he didn't. I know that he was on hospice just a few short weeks before he passed away. But I wanted to play this interview. I think it'll really show he was a nice guy. He was involved with, acting classes and also helping people realize their potential and be successful in life. And he just seemed to have an optimistic, friendly spirit about him. I also want to share a quick story, personal. When I was interviewing him, I also bought one of his photos and he autographed it for me. And I had my, con stuff, that stuff you get at conventions, and I carried it all back to my car and put it in my car so I could keep it safe and then go back in the con and run around and just do whatever. And sometime during that process, I lost the photo that he gave me, the signed photo. And I retraced all my steps and I couldn't find it. And I went back to him and I was like, I lost, I was like, did I leave my photo here by any chance? And he goes, no, I haven't seen it. And I was like, okay, I'll buy another one. And I was pulling out. He's like, no, don't worry about it. And he signed another one for me. And he gave it to me for free. And I was like, thank you very much. And that was, he's just a nice guy. He wasn't rude about it or shy. He was like, no, let me help you. And he was really nice about it. And I felt like he genuinely wanted to do it. And I appreciated that. And here's what he signed. He said, to Shane, keep the faith, Richard Hatch, Captain Apollo. And I think that's a great note to end what I'm saying and just lead into and let you hear Richard in his own words.
All right, so I'm going to try to say hi to Mr. Hatch. Mr. Hatch, are you still good to do a radio interview? I was told that that was pretty... Well, listen, first of all, welcome to Hot Springs.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Yeah, you look great. I told you a while ago when you were walking by, you, sir, are my Apollo.
Oh, my God. Well, my thought of it is that, there's many ways to play every character, and I loved what Jamie did with his version of Apollo. I certainly was a little jealous of some of the wonderful scenes he got to play and the new Battlestar. I was always hungry in the original. I always wanted something a little more provocative, edgy to grab onto. But I did love the original, the mythology, the backstory, and all the actors was a great group of people. But I love both shows for different reasons, but I would have to say the new show is probably the best written, best acted, best produced sci-fi show, I think, in history on television.
Well, they said at one time, it's whether you're sci-fi or not, it's the best show on television, period. And I would agree that it was a fantastic show. Right. It's awful gracious. I liked Jamie Bamber as Apollo. Don't get me wrong, but you're my Apollo, sir. Okay. So now, and by the way, my name is Shane Stacks. I'm with Shane Plays Geek Talk Radio, live out of 96.5 out of Little Rock, Arkansas. I appreciate your time. I'm geeking and fanboying right now talking to you and Mr. Hogan. I want you to know that. Now, I did a little research over the past few days. Do you still do your actors clinic that I saw on your website?
I teach at colleges, universities, high schools, and most conventions I go to, I do an acting seminar or some kind of everything you ever wanted to know about acting in the current entertainment industry. I teach the business of the art as well. I also teach the business and art of life, helping people to leverage their talents into the marketplace in a more successful way. We never learn those things in school, and I had to learn it the hard way.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that really stands out for me, for you, sir, is you're not just an actor, you're a fan like the fans. I mean, you put your blood, sweat, tears, body, and soul into Battlestar Galactica, and that really impresses me. So, I mean, you're not just showing up for the paycheck. I mean, you're a fan in the same sense that a lot of people here are.
I'm a fan of great art, great storytelling. It's not just sci-fi. I love great storytelling in whatever genre it happens to be. Great music, great performances, great dance. I love great art. So Battlestar is a phenomenal story that I always thought was never, ever fully appreciated. And it seems like whenever you have a deeper, more visionary sci-fi show, they don't last very long.
That's true, because Battlestar was more than just space opera. There was almost a theological kind of underpinnings. It was almost, in some ways, the Exodus. I'm not trying to make it distinctly Jewish or Christian, but there was almost a deeper significance to what was going on. So I also loved your turn as, it was a Commander Karn or Karg in Axanar.
Okay. Yeah, I have trailers here with me if I get a chance to play them. I love Star Trek. I watched it as a young actor in New York. The original Trek, and I got into Next Gen, and I've watched a little bit of all the other Trek movies. But I love all the Trek movies. I love that universe, and to be able to play this amazing Klingon general in this groundbreaking Trek indie film that has caused so much controversy, and obviously a lawsuit with Paramount CBS to redefine what fan fiction is and fan films are, and I think to maybe, hopefully, find a win-win solution to this so that everybody can participate in this world that they love and find a way to get along with each other.
Well, I've had Alec Peters on the show. I'm a champion of fan films. I don't want to get into the legal aspects. I feel that fan films should be doable in some way. I don't think that they should be illegal or whatever. I enjoyed Axanar. You playing the Klingon commander was fantastic. Have you? And I know you can't speak to the legal issues, but have as far as if all that clears up, are y'all moving forward?
I mean, if they can resolve this, and they're going to take it all the way. They're gonna take it all the way to the trial, and they're going to help force Paramount CBS to open their records and look at what they have and what they don't have, and find out a way to, I think, resolve this issue so that fan films can continue.
I'm with you. I especially Star Trek. Star Trek would not be Star Trek without the fans. So we've got. I know that you're here. There's other people wanting me. I got one last question for you. Yeah, go ahead.
Studios have to protect their IP. But I think there's a way to work out with fan films that have gotten so much more sophisticated and so much more professional to work out some kind of profit sharing, some kind of licensing deal, some kind of way that these fan films can be delivered to the public and not, get in the way of any of the studio productions, and maybe even help stimulate the fan interest and get them even more excited for what the studios do. I think there's a win-win possible here.
Well, I agree with you. I think that the current guidelines that have been proposed, which are not laws, they're just guidelines, are draconian, in my opinion. But anyway, do you want to kind of share with people what you're going to be doing at the con this weekend? How they can find you and whatnot.
I'm going to talk about my life and career in the entertainment industry and how the entertainment industry has changed, what we actors go through, how movies are made, how movies are funded. I'm going to talk about just about everything. Plus, I do want to mention that I'm in 2 new projects. One is called Diminuendo, which is a wonderful character-driven sci-fi movie with Leah Carnes from the new Battlestar and Gigi Edgley from Farscape and Coy Dykstra, John Dykstra's daughter. It's a wonderful story about an AI coming back to haunt a man who thought he lost the love of his life. And the other one is Personal Space, which I'm doing with Nikki Klein and Tam O'Pennicott from the new Battlestar, which is about a 1,200-year-old journey of a ship coming from Earth in 1991 when Reagan talked about space. And they've got rotating crews that have 25 years to work, and then they go to sleep in cryo, based on real cryo. And it's all about logistics, surviving in space, getting along with each other, and it's a very character-driven thing, space adventure.
Well, I want to see both. Do you know when these may make it to fans' eager eyeballs?
Well, Personal Space will be coming out soon. It's going to be a web series, and high-end web series, I must say. And then Diminuendo should be coming to film festivals and coming out in the next 3 to 4 months.
All right, well, thank you. And I also saw you did some stuff with Walter Koenig. Was it like a steampunk almost?
We were both in Cowboys and Engines with Malcolm McDowell, which is a steampunk pilot. And Walter's also in Diminuendo.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Hatch, Apollo himself, among many other things. Come check him out at SpaCon in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Thank you, Mr. Hatch.
Thank you. Thank you.